Hi everybody, Russ and Miami's 11. Hope you're all safe and well. If you use channel, please consider subscribing, hitting the bell icons. You made of any? Oh, I can't be bothered to do any of that. We've got Trevor Morley. I can't be asked to do that. I will say, thanks to our channel sponsors, Untuck It. That's it. That's all I have to do. We've got Trev, obviously, quite timely because we did his appreciation night last week. So we're talking about that. But how are we, Mr. Morley?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. I've been living in Norway for 20 years now, so and we're pretty good with the COVID, to be fair. It's not been affecting anything. Like, I spoke to my sister, my mum today. They've had the injections already, my mum and dad, or stepfather. So it's been pretty good. I'm in a place called Bergen, which is by the sea, beautiful place. And yeah, I mean, the pubs was open, so I'm happy.
The heart bleeds. Might be a bit cold though. It's probably a bit cold down over there, isn't it?
It's snow outside, so I can see snow, about a foot of snow, and -10 at the moment. So it's a little bit cold. It's nice. It's okay. It's better than the rain. It rains all the time here, so I'll take the snow and the cold. That's okay.
Yeah, exactly. But you can go to the pub, so it's like
yeah.
One hand giveth, the other taketh away. But yeah, you've been all right. You've been well. Everything's okay with you at the moment in the Morley household.
Yeah, touch wood. We don't want to jinx it, but yeah, for my age, I'm surviving. So you're a young man compared with me.
Well, it's the big 4-0 for me this year. So,
yeah, I see. But you've been 20 years doing the.
Yeah, 20 years. Yeah, 20 years, man and boy. Well, mainly man. But yeah, thick and thin. 20 years.
So
yeah.
do you do like all the songs at the ground?
Yeah.
So you do like the bubbles and everything, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm still there now. During the behind closed doors, we still have all the music playing and stuff. So yeah, it's they've been playing to me. The Moyes era that's great at the moment. They've been playing to me, which has been lovely. Sitting there watching the game on my own with about 30 journalists.
Yeah, it's not. But you're not in charge of like the crowd noise thing.
That's all done through the broadcasters. So that's all done through AI, a bit like FIFA. In the FIFA game, it's very clever how they do it. But
yeah, it is, because I did the game against Liverpool. I do the CV, and the ground looks great when it's empty, doesn't it?
When they do those drone shots, it does look really awesome.
Yeah.
It's a shame there's no one there, but these things happen, don't they?
Yeah.
There's nothing you do about it, and they're doing well. So as long as the boys are doing well,
they're brilliant. Yeah,
it's
brilliant.
It's a bit reminiscent of sort of the era that, because obviously I got into West Ham around the time where you started playing, really, and with that team you could never. Throughout that time, you could never say, "Oh, these guys aren't putting it in," And the Moyes era, it does seem like a bit old school in terms of, they always seem to keep going. Do you know what I mean? There's always a goal in them, and just they don't give up. It's lovely, so nice.
Yeah, I get that a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I think Davey's done brilliant. I don't know. I didn't think he was the right man for the job at the time, and I think, without being disrespectful, you won't mind. I thought he was a bit lucky to sort of get a second chance, and then, but take your hats off what he's done now, and I think. The recruitment's been fantastic. The last few signings have been outstanding. So that's the major thing, isn't it? Recruitment's so important.
Yeah, it really is. It really, really is. And it's just getting the right people in, isn't it? I think. Actually, there's obviously at the moment, everyone's saying, "Oh, we didn't sign a striker." I don't know. I'm not really. We'll wait and see. In Moyes we trust, so we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah, I mean, I used to watch Mikel Antonio at Forest play right back or right wing. I watched him. I'm a big Forest fan, and I mean, he was good then, fast and strong. But I mean, it's only by chance that he played centre forward, which is the same as me. I was a central midfield player, and at Corby Town they were desperate for a striker. I was no. And eventually I said, "Trevor, you're gonna have to play. No one else can play there." And that was, I was 18 years old. So sometimes it's it's just something that happens in your career that. Because I was struggling centre midfield, man. I loved it at centre forward, but he's been brilliant there, And I don't know, you saw his interview. We had the interview in Norway on the desert island. Have you seen that?
No, not yet. No.
Oh, you have to check it out, because he does a little interview before the game, and it's really good. He's a real class act. He's funny. It was good questions, and they asked him, like, for example, what would you take on the desert island? He went, my telephone. And I was thinking, well, you need a charger. It's not the brightest answer. And then he thought a bit. And he went, oh, my wife. So I was saying, yeah, you're going to be in trouble now. If you said wife phone, it might have been okay. But phone wife was not the best order.
Bless him. Oh, bless him. I love things like that. That's what I mean. There's that sort of old school buzz around the team like that.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to be really like, and I know, we'll talk about your time at West Ham as well, but obviously, of course, but there seems that real sort of buzz around the team. Everyone seems to be like in the same boat, and there's not, I think, Pellegrini time and maybe even the Slav eras, to be honest, there was them and them and them and them. There wasn't like a group. It didn't seem like a group team, but this team does, man. This team does. And as you said, this is good characters, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's looking good. That could we've been there before.
Yes, we have been there before. Now, for those of you that less experienced fans, Trev played for us from, he signed it. He played over 200 games for us, sort of from 89 to sort of 94, 95. Scored. Now, is it 70? Do you know how many goals? Is it 70 goals you scored, or don't you know?
I don't know. I remember a figure of 69. It's quite funny because I came to watch a game with the Scandinavian Hammers. Yeah. It must be about 10 years ago. And we had a quiz after. And one of the questions was, who was the top scorer of the last 25 years? So I think I put down Tony Cottee. I can't remember, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, at the end they went, are you stupid or what? It's you. So, and that was, so I guess in the last 30 years now, I'm the top scorer at West Ham. And I'm not sure it's 69 or 70. I'm going to check it out one day because I'll say 70 because it sounds a bit better than 69. But I'm not sure, actually, because what was funny was Carlton Cole was getting really close to me. I think he was about 5 away. And then he left the club, and I was like, yeah. And then he came back. Then he scored about 2 or 3 goals. I think he was about 2 or 1 behind me. Yeah. And then he left again. So it's a bit like the Man City thing when we beat, I was at Man City, we beat United 5-1. And my boss at TV2, he's a big City fan. And the 6-1 game, you remember a few years ago when City beat Man United 6-1, he's texting, brilliant, Trevor, brilliant. I'm like, really? No one's going to remember my game anymore. So.
Yeah, there's a bit of a. I think it's 70. To be honest. But anyway,
we'll go 70.
We'll go 70. It always sounds better.
Yeah.
And obviously, Trevor saying before he started, he watched the appreciation night and he thought it was all right, didn't you? You think it was too bad?
Yeah, I like you guys. I think it was good getting me out of the way, and then you talk. I thought you was really interesting. I like your opinions, and I like the fact that you hadn't rehearsed it or you didn't have stats in front of you. You was doing it for my memory, so that was pretty sharp. I mean, Shedman talking about my Northampton career, which was right.
Yeah,
he didn't mention I was captain, but okay. So I was debut on my captain Northampton. I was nearly 23 years old, 3 years old before I made my league debut.
Wow.
You've forgotten Nuneaton Borough. I was there 4 years. And was captain, scored centre forward against Burnley, believe it or not, in the old 4th division. So, and then we had an amazing season. We won the division. So
fantastic. Yeah, and as I said to you, I think I texted you afterwards. I had literally next day, I had Steve Jones phone me up, and the first thing he said was, "Oh, Russ, that cross for that Tottenham goal, that was brilliant. That was my best cross ever, I think."
Was it? No, maybe the Norwich. Was it the Norwich one?
No, it was because it was the cross for the Tottenham one where he kicked it. It wasn't really much of a cross, to be honest, Jonah. But he said it was his best game because I love Trevor. And then I had who else? Obviously Ian Foyer came along and said hello as well. It was lovely. It's really nice, Trevor. It's really, really good. Right, okay, let's go back to the West, sort of the time at West Ham. So obviously, as you said, a lot of goals, a lot of games. I mean, you signed in '89. It's in December, I think, '89. You and Bish for Man City. How did that all happen? Do you remember how that move got orchestrated from Macari?
Yeah, I mean, I could go back a little bit if you've got time.
Of course.
Manchester City, Bournemouth, last home game of the season. We just need to win to get into the top division again, 88, 89. And this is Harry Redknapp's Bournemouth.
Yeah.
So we're playing against Bish. Matty Holmes was playing for Bournemouth as well, for one of his first games. We're 3-0 up at half-time. It's sunshine. It's 35,000 people at Main Road. We celebrate and we're back in the top flight. And we were a bit lucky, to be fair, because Harry's side had a good team. Anyway, I think 3-1 with about 20 minutes left. 3-2, 7 minutes from the end. 7 minutes in overtime. Penalty. Andy Hinchcliffe gives a silly penalty away. Luther Blissett, 3-3. Disaster. So me and Bish had a little fight in the midfield. First time I met him, he was brilliant. He was playing, long hair, and I grabbed him by the throat and he grabbed me. We had a little ruck in the midfield. Do you know what I mean? won't say it was love at first sight before someone else says that. But so, and ironically, that means the last game of the season was away at Bradford. We're 1-0 down. We have to get a draw. Palace are winning 4-0. We have to get a draw. And I scored last minute, which made me a bit of a hero. But that maybe was part of the reason Bish got a move to Man City from that Bournemouth game. Anyway, we're both at Man City together in the top flight. I mean, he was a brilliant player, I think. And I was doing okay, to be fair. Mel Machin got the sack. Howard's come in. Howard, you know the story. He had a Bish at Everton, didn't like him. I remember the first training session, and Bish was playing really well. He gave the bibs out, and he didn't give one to Bish. He gave all the first team a bib. And Howard went, "Doesn't mean anything, Bish." We're like, "Really?" So he dropped him first game and put Gary Megson in. So I remember Gary Megson. And but I got on okay with Howard. So it was funny. I was going training one day around Christmas, and they said to me, I think we had a friendly game or something, and they said, "Trevor, you're not playing today." I'm like, "What? You got to go up to the office." What's that? Went up to the office. Howard's got a deal going on. You and Bish for swapping with Wardy. So I was shocked, to be honest. I was like, "Really?" Because my time at Man City, I struggled. I'd been through a bad time and then got the crowd on my side. Bish was flying. So it was a bit all strange. It was a bit surreal. And I couldn't really work it out. And then I'll be honest, we had no choice in it. It was just like, that's the way it is. Now, West Ham, my dad, this is another bit of a story. My dad actually made his debut. He's dead now, my real father, in 1945 something, Upton Park, Nottingham Forest. He made his debut at Upton Park, which I didn't know till after I finished playing, which is a little bit. And he used to play with the scout. What's his name? They played Forest together. Oh, he was scout for Forest, and I think that's the connection.
Yeah.
They'd followed me a little bit, see. So I came down, met Lou Macari, and we did a deal. So it was me and Bish travelled down. He had an agent, I didn't. So he got a better deal than me. So and we signed, and that was it. I mean, that's that football. I mean, looking back, I mean, Man City was a huge club, and it was, for me, it was a bit shocking because I had a hard time winning the team. I was in, Howard was playing me. But, it was a great move. And looking now, coming to West Ham I didn't, how great supporters and what a great club it was. So I'd never change anything, but that's how it came about.
It's funny, those sort of like sliding doors moments type thing, as you said, like when you was midfield and they put you up front and, as you said, it just happened. And, that, you and Bish at West Ham, and that just was it, you became synonymous with West Ham, really. And I mean, that's, and obviously from my period at West Ham, I sort of started supporting them. That was sort of when you guys started playing from, really. And obviously, you came in, we've said, the amount of goals you scored. I think, he was top, was it 91, 92? I think he's top goal scorer. I think that season he joined in December. I think you still had you got 10 or something by the end of the season. I take that. That's not a bad return. God, could you imagine if we had a striker who had 10 in the 6 months? Would be nice. And then obviously, I really remember you sort of 92, 93 when obviously we were being promoted that season. 22 goals. That team, there was some right characters in that team. We've had quite a few of them on. As a player, obviously, what was it like in that dressing room? Obviously, you've had there's a few different dressing rooms over your time, but you must have such a giggle with them lot, because it was like, you and Bish and all that lot. It must have been such a funny time to be a West Ham player. That. Yeah,
some great characters, like you say. I mean, I'm quite a shy person, really. So, and a northerner, so with a stupid moustache coming down there, looking back,
we'll talk about the haircuts. Don't worry, Trevor.
Yeah. So it took me a while to sort of getting in, but you go through Dixie, Martin Allen, and Peter Butler, Marshy when he came, and Bish, and Yeah, of course, Tony Gale and Albert. You go through all of them. It was a great dressing room, really. And, the banter was flying around, the stick was flying around from day one. Do you know what I mean? And me coming in as like a northerner with my stupid clothes and my moustache, do you know what I mean? I think they was laughing behind my back, but I didn't mind. So, yeah, I mean, it took a while to settle in because me and Bish were staying at the Swallow Hotel, which we didn't mind, to be fair, because,
it was a nice hotel, or maybe.
We was living like going down for meals and, ordering a bottle of wine or whatever. And we didn't want to move into a house, to be honest. You were so pampered or whatever. And I remember used to be embarrassed when he used to sign it every month. And I think Tom Finn was the, secretary then. I was like, oh, this is embarrassing, Bish. We've had about 19 bottles of wine this month. Do you know what I mean? It's like, but they paid for it. So, yeah, and it brought me and Bish together because we weren't best mates at Man City. We were a little bit friends, but the move brought us real close together and traveling together. So, yeah, I settled. I didn't start off on a flyer at West Ham. They weren't playing that well, but then once I got my first goal, they started going in. And like you said, I think I got 10 in 18 in that first season. I think I scored in 5 games on the trot at one stage because I remember Georgie Parrish was always saying, "You're due a goal, Trevor. You're due a goal." And I think I came third in Play of the Year. I didn't know there was such a thing as third. So, yeah, I got off to a decent start, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was 5 in a row. 5 in a row after you scored from was it from Watford onwards? Yeah, 5 in a row. That was after and obviously, and then we obviously the next season wasn't so good. That 91 season wasn't a great season, was it? For you, and obviously we didn't talk about, obviously there was the stabbing incident, all that stuff. I mean, we're not going to go into that today because it's old ground, really. As I said, then that sort of that for me, as you said, that 92-93 season, that was the real season for you. And then obviously the following season, Hammer of the Year. Now, obviously, we touched on that actually on the appreciation night. Hammer of the Year is a very illustrious. I think there must have been. I think Nigel said there was only about 35 people who have won that. What's it like as a player? I said you didn't know you came third. You didn't even know we had one. What was it like as a player when you win that award, when you be voted by the fans as the their favourite player of the year?
Yeah, I'll get a bit emotional thinking about it. I mean, I guess that's the biggest honour. I did win some promotions, and but when I look back on my career, that's the biggest honour. I feel a bit embarrassed to get it sometimes when you say Bobby Moore and Jeff Hurst and all these people that have got it. So, but I'll take it, and maybe I deserved it in that season. But I can tell you, I never even crossed my mind.
Sure,
it never even crossed my mind that I could be Player of the Year. When they told me, I was shocked.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I don't know if I've always put myself forward. Maybe I wasn't a very selfish footballer. I was always like a team player, and I always put everyone before myself. So I never entered my mind that I could be Player of the Year. So looking back, it was an honour. And when I just see your appreciation show and see my goals, I thought, hello, Trevor, you weren't a bad player, were you? Do you know what I mean? I had a good season. And it was a funny season, actually, to play with Lee Chapman because I'd always been like the target man. And suddenly, Lee, I'm sort of not the real target man, more of a 10 player. But I had injury free. I had some big injuries in my career. And I was had a good season. The goals were going in. I even got dropped for one game against Norwich, came on and scored. And then, it took me a couple of more games to get back in. I think it was a United game. And I scored against that. So I scored some goals against London clubs as well, which might have helped.
Yeah, always helps. Yeah.
Against Tottenham, I would have got one more against Arsenal if it wasn't for David Seaman ripping my head off. So that's the biggest honour, and it's in fact, is that it there? That may be up on the shelf there. That is it. That trophy's there.
There we go. You see, it's on the shelf. And
I didn't plan that, by the way.
Oh no, whatever.
There's a bottle of whiskey at the side, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there you go. What I was going to say was also that season was, as a professional player, it's your first season properly in the Premier League. You're scoring goals in the Premier League, as you said, and just that sort of capped off that fantastic season. Now, something we picked up on, and Martin picked up on, was every night. Was it the 92, 93 night? You went on loan to Brann over the summer. What was the reasoning behind that? Because they were like, really? They did. So that's something he's asked me to ask you about going to. How did that happen? How did that happen? Those 3 years going out there.
My first wife, the one that stuck a knife in me, was Norwegian. So basically, I was coming over here, and they found out, and there's a guy called Knut Christensen that he worked a deal out with West Ham, and West Ham and Billy Bonds didn't want to know at first.
Sure.
But then they said they would pay my wages, so that they saved some money at West Ham, and they'd insure me. So eventually they did a deal. So I'm only here for about in Norway for maybe 6, 7, 8 weeks. And I'll be honest with you, it was brilliant because, no disrespect, but the training was more advanced there than it was in England. That time we're a bit old school in England. The doggies, and suddenly here you're warming up before the games, you're warming up that. You know what I mean? You're doing things that we weren't quite, heart monitors, testing stuff, and it was okay standards. So when I came over, and I did okay, scored some goals. I mean, the first game there was 21,000 people at the Brand Stadium. So I thought, wow, this is not bad. So anyway, the point is, when I came back, because when I said to the lads, I'm playing in Europe, they were taking the piss out of me big time. You're going to Norway, do you know what I mean? It's not exactly Europe. But anyway, the point, when I came back, I was never a good runner, not pre-season. In the game, I could run my socks off, but I wasn't one of these Martin Allen, Peter Butler at the front, could run around the golf course 6 times. But when I came back pre-season, I was sharp. I could feel I was a bit sharper than normal because I've been ticking over. I've been playing football at a good level, different sort of training. I think West Ham saw that and they let me go the next time. And I think Bran only paid half my wages. So they were like, that's good for him. I wasn't young. I was 29 the first time. So I think it worked out. There was a slight risk of injury, but that didn't happen. So it was a big benefit. And like I say, my last season at West Ham, it was a World Cup '94. I didn't go. I didn't feel as sharp when I came back.
Yeah, as you said, when that's one thing we sort of picked up, and which you sort of didn't necessarily agree with, was sort of Harry didn't fancy you. But as you said, when you came back, you probably weren't as sharp as you were before because of that sort of your mini pre-season. Really, that's what it was. And obviously, as you said, he brought in Hutch and TC, and he's always going to play his own players rather than necessarily you, isn't he? So you sort of knew that was sort of, and as you said, we said before, you sort of saw the writing on the wall really when that happened. But I mean, it's one of those things where I think, wasn't your last game that Man United game, wasn't it? The 1-1, I think. It
was, yeah. So not a bad game to go out on.
Bad games, yeah, exactly. Stopping Man United win the title and getting Fergie, still hating West Ham about, which was.
Well, we always tell that story about the champagne coming at the end of the, when Kenny Dalglish and what's his name, Jack, sent in the owner.
Yeah.
At Blackburn, they sent us in some champagne and beers, and we were like, okay. Let's party. I think we finished 12th or 13th, and we were partying like we won the Premier League, not Blackburn. So
no, and didn't they say? There was Ferguson said it was obscene the amount of effort you guys put in, or something ridiculous like that.
That was in the game when Kenny Brown scored. Yeah, I mean,
Something about West Ham and Man United. As long as
we had some good memories against them. To be fair, I have, yeah.
Yeah, it's always Man United, Russ. It's always Man United. As long as we turn them over next week in the cup, I'll be happy.
Well, I did the last game. I did it on TV when at the stadium. That was surreal. When I got there and I saw the amount of people outside and their coach was stuck, and I was saying to the guys, "Come on, let's film it," but they wouldn't film it because they were throwing things at the coach. But I got a bit of a buzz from it, to be fair.
Yeah, and you did your own. I saw the YouTube when you did your own sort of like goodbye to Odin on for Norwegian TV. Yeah. I mean, that was nice for you to have the opportunity to say goodbye to the stadium, wasn't it? Really gave you some great. I mean, I remember one of my vivid was that 92-93 season when we got promoted, and obviously the Cambridge United game, and I was on the bottom tier of the West Stand, and someone threw over a rope ladder from the top tier. People were walking down this rope ladder. It's like, really? Health and safety. You definitely got that through.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Right, one question I've been told to ask, Trev: which one was the best haircut?
Well, that one, I remember that was the one. Can you see where I'm pointing? But on the top left-hand side, me and Bish were a bit drunk then. We'd been out the night. We had to come and do some pictures for West Ham. You can see that I'm probably half drunk.
You can see it in your eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a good one. That stupid moustache, Lord Lucan, whatever it is, call me. So I don't mind the long hair, to be fair, but I guess the one next to that one's I don't mind really. I'm not, whatever.
Nah, it's all good fun, man. It was funny. I quite like the sort of the tips. The one by the My Hammers 11 side. That's the one.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
more sun-kissed version. I like that. I had to say that. It's because otherwise, if I didn't, someone would shout at me. But anyway, right. Let's move on and talk about your Hammers 11, Trev. So obviously, everyone we get on the site, get on the channel, puts together an 11, and the ex-players. I believe you're probably like the 51st player I think we've had on, which is mental. I know it's gone mental. Puts together the.
Yeah, thanks for remembering me. Yeah.
Do you know what? I'm not funny, right? When I interviewed Bish, I did, and Bish will probably watch this now. I said, right, I want to get Trevor on. He was like, yeah.
Has Bish done it?
Yeah, Bish has done it. Yeah.
Did he put me in the team?
Right, Bish was one of 3 people who chickened out and didn't do an 11 because he didn't want to upset anyone.
Yeah, fine.
The other one was Harry. Harry didn't do it because he started talking about Bobby Ferguson in the 60s and then realised he didn't have time because he started waffling on about it.
Yeah. And who's the other one?
Nigel Reo-Coker.
Mm.
Yeah, okay. There we go. So those are the.
It is difficult because we don't get a subs bench, do we?
Well, you can put some people on this, and you can give you can give honourable mentions as well. That's what basically everyone gets away with it. They go, oh yeah, he's my goalie, but I want to mention Done. Right, okay. So who is in goal for the Morley 11?
I mean, it's quite an obvious one that. Alan McKnight gets in there.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bob, I'm just kidding. I mean, when I joined, you remember the fantastic side, 86, 87, whatever. They were still there hanging around. And Phil Parks, I remember seeing this guy with long hair and moustache, and he was like 20 stone with a little cigar. I remember we played away smoking a little cigar on a Friday night. I thought, what a legend. This guy is fantastic. And I remember doing shooting practice against him, and you couldn't score, I thought, wow. And then you saw Ludo. Of course, Ludo came in with me, signed by Lou McCarr, and it was chalk and cheese because Ludo was short hair and he had the great body and tall, and he was a modern day keeper. So, to be fair, I didn't see enough of Phil because I know Phil was a fantastic, and I saw he was a fantastic keeper. But Ludo was a modern keeper. I love the way he used to come out his line, and he used to start coming off his line, which keepers don't do anymore. No. Very corners, they get trapped on the line. Ludo used to be out for free kicks, and some of his shot saving was brilliant. He made the odd mistake, but most keepers do. But I think he was such a great goalkeeper, such a great buyer. And he signed at the same time as me and Bish. He stayed at the Swallow, and he couldn't speak any English. And we had to try and look after him, and we was like, Swallow. He's like, follow? No, Swallow. I follow to the Swallow. It was like, oh, Ludo. But the best Ludo story is when we first signed, we had a fancy dress party at Christmas. And so we've all turned up and we've finished training. We're all putting our fancy dress outfits on. And Ludo's no one's told him. And Ludo's, what's happening? That's fun. So me and Bish took him down. We found the nearest shop that sold fancy dress outfits. Had nothing left. I think it was a sailor's outfit in size medium. That's all we got. So we've got him in this little sailor's outfit. Ludo, he looked brilliant, to be fair. Far too small. And then I think Frank McAvaney got some limousines ordered. Probably made himself a few quid. They were from 9:30. I think one of them broke down after about 2 miles. So we decided to drive past Ludo's house on the way so he could tell his wife because, she didn't quite know, whatever. And I remember her face. These 3 limousines pulled outside and we waited, and Ludo ran up to knock on the door, and his wife come out and saw him, and Ludo! It was like the expression on her face, like, what the fuck's going on here? So Ludo, legend, yeah. Fantastic goalkeeper. And he made some assists. Some of his kicking to me was amazing because he found me. I think he had a couple of assists for me. I think a goal against Watford, against David James, and put in the top corner. It was Ludo's assist. So
yeah, amazing. And what's it like? Because obviously, obviously Macari said brought in you. He brought in obviously Bish and Ludo, and then obviously Lou leaves pretty sharpish in the next season. what's it like? Because obviously, you've come in as Macari's man, basically, and then a new manager. I know Bondo, but do you go, oh shit, oh fuck, I've got to start again, because
Not really. I think when I signed, the club there was no discipline.
yeah,
I like Lou, and he was a tremendous guy, but you had people, including Julian Dix, who won't mind me saying it, who were just running around, and the coaches. There wasn't any. There was. It lost it. People were doing what they wanted to do. You got the old group of players. I don't think respected Lou, but he was trying to bring new people. Some new people. It was a little bit toxic atmosphere. So, in a way, I think the fact he went and Bill came in was a good thing, because I think you can't help but respect Bill.
sure.
I mean, Bill. We all know what Bill's like, and you may not have thought he'd be an ideal manager at the time because he'd done the youth team, but he turned out to be, when you look back, one of the top managers. I don't think anybody's got a better winning percentage than Bill in the history of West Ham. I did it on TV once. I don't think that anybody can beat him. I mean, I was looking, I think in the first 60 years, West Ham had 5 managers, didn't they?
Yeah.
It's amazing. And then, so he's up there, Bill. So, but the point was, I think he boiled it down to, you couldn't mess around. He'd grab you and beat you up, Bill. Do you know what I mean? I remember saying to Bish, "You're not fit," and it would Bill would run around the football pitch with Bish, and they'd be beating him by 20 meters. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and Bill, he was beefed up, so he had respect, because he obviously had respect. He played and he'd been at West Ham for so many years, and so that settled the club a lot. Yeah. And then I don't think he judged Lou's signing. I don't think Bill thought, these are signings that come in by Lou Macari. I know you spoke about it. Lou's signings were excellent for West Ham, including Martin Allen, myself, Bish, and Ludo, and Jimmy Quinn.
Yep. Excellent
signing. So Bill came in. I think there was no he'd played with some of these guys, didn't
he? Yeah, definitely.
Gailey and all these. So I think Bill, I don't think he took it as it was.
Yeah.
I think everyone was on an even basis. And I was playing with Frank, Quinny, blah, blah. And I knew I had to do the business to stay in. And I did. I think I did good. I scored goals. I think what Bill liked about me was I put a shift in. I was in a bit of this. I did put a shift in, and I worked hard for the team. So I got a lot to thank Bill for, because he stuck by me. Yeah, he stuck by me. Yeah.
Yeah, good shout. Right. Okay, that was Ludo.
Yeah, that was a long one. Yeah.
That was a long time. The others will be quicker. Defense. Left back. Who would be left back?
Obviously, Julian Dix. No, I mean, he was undisciplined when I come. I couldn't believe. I think we played Leicester away, and they were messing around like him and Martin Allen, but there was no discipline there. But I thought he was a fantastic captain, because I looked up to him first because of what a footballer. His commitment was unbelievable. He probably didn't stretch, but he was the first to get out and training, last to come in. And I roomed with Bish, but if me and Bish wasn't travelling, I often roomed with Dixie. So we was good together. So and don't tell him I said this, but he's a bit soft inside, to be fair. So, but yeah, what a player! I mean, he could have played anywhere. Look at he's sort of the modern day left back, because you see the full backs now. It's become a bit of a trendy position. He was coming flying up the pitch, taking penalties, free kicks, making assists. No doubt, brilliant player. Definitely. And brilliant captain.
Yeah, so we had him on a couple of weeks ago. Well, we had him on. Yeah, was it last week we had him on? And it was. I was like, no, it was 2 weeks ago, because I was like, and I asked him a question. What's it like being sacked? Because obviously he'd just been sacked.
Yeah.
And he was like, I was like, shit myself. And he went, oh, actually, I'm in my flat now in Birmingham. We're putting it all away, because I'm moving back down. I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, he's at the top guy, and he was a bit soft, because I thought it would be sort of quite a tricky interview, but he was actually he had a few beers, I think, as well. So he's like, not Diet Coke, no Coke. That's what he used to drink, wasn't it?
I used to get him. I got a few penalties from him as well. I used to be quite good at getting penalties, so he owed me for a few penalties. What I got for him.
Good, yeah, that's all good, man. Right, okay, we'll put Julian left back. Let's go right back. Who would be right back then?
Well, it's a tough one. This, I mean, I used to love Tim Breaker.
Yeah.
Used to love talking to his dad in the players' lounge after. Mr. Breaker, Tim up and down, Billy signing. But I'll have to go Potsy.
Yeah.
I mean, Potsy was a fan favourite and a great lad, quiet but super guy. And I think I wouldn't say he was underrated because he got Player of the Year a few times and everyone appreciated him. But he wasn't a normal footballer in the fact that he wasn't that big, was he? Or he wasn't a mean tackler, but he could time things, good on the ball. Yeah, Potsy was quality, to be fair, and a great guy.
Yeah, and I know what you mean. Underrated outside of Upton Park. I think that's the way. We all knew what a good, all the fans knew what a player he was, but outside of Upton Park, as tends to happen with lots of our players. Right, let's go centre halves. Who's your first centre half then?
Again, it'll be chalk and cheese. The first one, Alvin Martin, Scousers. I've always liked the Scousers, and what a player. For me to come, I mean, I come from Man City. We had some good ones. Colin Henry, Paul Lake played there, Stevie Redmond. But when I came in Alvin Martin, it's the first time when I played at Northampton where they were booting balls overhead. They were just like dinking balls into me. Alvin, fantastic on the ball. I don't think he'd mind saying he wasn't super quick, but he didn't need to be because. And another thing was the amount of centre halves that head the ball. If he had the chance, he took it down his chest every time on the chest. Quality, and he could tackle. He was mean. He was a leader, and he taught me some things. He used to say to me, "Trevor, the key is stay down. Get him booked. Get him off." You know, because I used to jump up sometimes. He used to say, "Stay down. Get him off the pitch." So he was a real winner, Alvin, and a funny guy, a bit crazy. But you need them sort of people on your team. Rigsby, brilliant.
Yeah, top man. Right, okay, we'll put Alvin. Who's he going to partner then in the centres?
Well, that's his southern softy, Gailey, isn't it? It's got to be Gailey. He'd kill me if I didn't say that, but he was quality again. Again, maybe more than Alvin, the way he used to come out of defence and just ping the ball into me left or right. And again, he couldn't probably run fast, but he didn't need to. Fantastic reader of the game, fantastic footballer. He loved himself a little bit, but the only thing with Gailey is he killed me a little bit. One of the biggest games of my career, the semi-final against Forest, when me a Nottingham boy, I had 30 in my family there.
Sure.
Big Forest fan, and Gailey, because he was lazy, couldn't be bothered to chase after Crosby. He just pulled him down, and we know it wasn't a red card, but even so, Gailey, you killed it for me that day. So you owe me one on that. But I've told him that. But super player and a great character as well. Yeah. I love listening to him on TV. When I meet him, funny guy.
He's funny. Yeah, he put himself down as captain, manager, coach. Taker, corner taker, and free kick taker. He said, "Oh, do you remember? I scored a great goal." I know what you're going to say. Oh, yeah, it was a great free kick. He's brilliant, top guy. I love Gailey. Right, okay, so that's your back four. There's your goalie. Right, let's move into midfield then. Let's go left wing, left midfield.
Well, it's difficult. The options there would be Matty Holmes, of course, and Robbo, I guess. Anybody else in there? And Chopper, Stuart Slater. I mean, I don't think Stuart Slater. I don't know what position would he be in really, but he did play that left-hand side a little bit.
Yeah,
I mean, it was funny. I was actually watching when I had that season Player of the Year that. It was quite. You touched on it that my assists came from Matty Holmes and Marshy, a lot of them, not Bish, which I was a little bit surprised, but Bish feeded me in. So tough one that you're gonna have to help me. It's really close, Robbo or Matty Holmes.
I like Matt. To be honest, I did like Matty Holmes as a player. I always liked him. I don't know why. It was the hair.
I mean, he was such. When Harry brought him in, he was like. He was so shy and no disrespect. Don't mind me saying, his suit was too big for him. He came in and he was a brilliant guy. I used to love it. He used to bring videos in for us all the time. He used to have these all the new films. "Oh, Trevor, I've got a video for you. Watch the new film." And somebody filmed it in the cinema. So, but Robbo was a great character as well. But I'll give it Matty Holmes. Yeah, it's a close one. Robbo had some great skills and he had some good assists and goals for me, but. Yeah. Matty was a good signing, to be fair. Harry got lucky on that. Harry got lucky on that one from Bournemouth.
Yeah. Good old age. Right. Okay. Let's put him on the left. Let's go right wing. Who should have on the right wing then?
That's another difficult one, isn't it? Because who have you got there? Kevin Keane, obviously. Unless the thing is, if I want to fit in a player from central that's not really in position, that's the thing. I've only got 2 central midfield players, so Kevin Keane. It was great to play with Kevin Keane, wonderful footballer, a great guy as well. Not your typical footballer, you know. He was great company. We used to play Scrabble together with Martin Allen. So believe it or not. So,
well, we've had Martin and Kev used to be travel buddies, didn't they? They used to be car buddies.
Yeah.
I just didn't see that happening.
Yeah, so I like Kevin. He was a lovely personality, and I met him a couple of times when I've been down to the training ground. Yeah. Him and Poxy. So it was a good player. I think in the West Ham mould of football players, as I see it, you know, we may say it's a bit of a fallacy now with the West Ham academy football. He's one of those guys, you know, and he was a good football player.
Definitely. I'll put Keno in. Good old Keno. And he's very good. We've had him on doing one of our game shows. And obviously he's very clever. He was very clever. He beat everyone. He beat Jonesy. Well, Jonesy kept on shouting out the answers before it was his turn.
Jonesy. He's not clever.
Oh, bless him. Then he phoned me up and goes, I want a rematch. So I got him, Martin Allen and Tim Breaker in a rematch. Yeah, he still didn't win. Right, okay, let's put Keno in. Central midfield then. Who's your first central midfield player then?
I know it's Bish. I love playing with Bish. He's for me, what Bish had was, I think he was a fantastic footballer. Again, in the West Ham mould, always wanted the ball. And another thing that I think of my game was I was always looking for the ball. I was always looking to link up. And it wasn't necessarily getting the box. I wanted to be that link-up player. I just wanted to be involved. And Bish knew that, and Bish would find me all the time with his passing, left foot, right foot. He'd just wait the ball into me. Fantastic footballer, skill. I mean, he'd probably tell you that himself as well because he loves himself, Bish. He scored a few good goals.
He did.
So, and I think he's a West Ham legend. He was brilliant. You know, I think the crowd loved him and had a great career. And him and Harry, not always eye to eye, but I think Harry loved him really.
Yeah. He is. I know what you mean about Bish. Yeah, he was just a very, very stylish player. He said in that sort of West Ham mould where we like people who are good on the ball and good passers, and he had a great range of passing, and again he was part of that sort of, as I said, all your era. You know, we had Mad Dog on. He said, I've got Bish tomorrow. He said, ask him about his pack of polos he always used to have in his pocket. And I was like, so Bish, I heard you like polos. He went, no, who told you that? No.
Well, I remember we went. A quick story. Went to the PFA do, which were great dues. You know, you get all the like celebrity, all the Premier League players there. And I think we went. We had a limousine and was in the monkey suits, of course, and we stopped in the East End, a couple of pubs on the way there. Just I can't remember where, but real, not the slums, but the back rows, the pubs. And suddenly about 8 of us West Ham players walked in the monkey suits, and we were drinking pints of Guinness, but we were dropping one vodka in Bish's. And he didn't know, obviously. So we've had about 6, 7, 8 pints before we've got there, and Bish's had the vodka in every one. So he's buzzing, and we've had the dinner. So he's legless, do you know what I mean? And the PF, I can't remember what it's called, the hotel in London, but the PFA do. So as you leave, there's a leather seat there, and Bish is sat there and falling asleep, So we've put a cigarette or cigar in his fingers, you know what I mean? And we've put like a whiskey in and we've put like beers and vodka around him. And at the end of the night, everyone walks out and they walk past there, do you know what I mean? And Bish is sat there like that. I remember Sir Alex Ferguson, we watched him walk by, he was like shaking his head a little bit, do you know what I mean? But he had a little bit of a reputation as a drinker, Bish, but it's not true.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, all right. Okay, don't believe you. Right, okay, so Bish, who else is going to be in that central midfield then, Trev?
That's a tough one. I mean, I love Johnny Moncur, but he jinxed me. When he signed, everything went wrong for me. So, Monkey, sorry, pal, I can't take you in there because you killed me. I think it was your pass that set me with a 50-50 when my leg went against Man City. So, but I loved him as a player, Monkey. I played against him, of course, at Swindon.
Yes.
Peter Butler was a grafter. I love Martin Allen as well. Martin Allen was a brilliant guy and gave everything on the pitch. But if I had to go talent-wise, I'll go for a guy, Mike Marsh. I know he didn't have much of a career at Marshy. I don't know, he wasn't there that long at West Ham, but...
As you said, there's a lot of the season, that one we basically put all the goals in. Loads come from Marshy, didn't it? In terms of those assists, those little through balls and stuff. I think it was one of those. There's certain players who are slightly underrated, I think, by West Ham fans, and he was a great. Him and David Burrows that came in and did a really good job. I mean, you mentioned Pete Butler. He was like the first player I ever met. When they used to do the old junior hammer birthday parties next to the ground in the little school, and a player would turn up. It's like, it wouldn't happen now. Manuel Lanzini wouldn't walk into our Adventure House and cake. And Butler when I interviewed him, he was in Liberia because he's the Liberian team manager at the moment. Absolutely mental. It's just such a crazy life he's got. I love it.
Yeah, we got a contact from him. We were trying to find out some player in Norway. I got a message from him a few weeks ago about some guy. But he was a great guy, Peter Butler. And Marshy was a great guy, but I don't know if I should put Marshy in really, because I don't know what it was with Marshy. I don't know why he didn't have a better career, because, in five or sides and that, he was fantastic. But, he ended up going to Southend, and then it's a difficult one. And Martin Allen, who else we got? There? Am I missing somebody?
Georgie Paris?
Yeah, Georgie, of course. Yeah, Georgie.
Well, everywhere. So
Georgie, he was, when I first came in as well, Georgie's a top guy, top player as well. But sorry, George. You're on the subs bench, pal. And what else I missed? I don't know.
You probably loads, but you always do.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll put Marshy in, or maybe Martin Allen, or maybe
yeah. Stick with that.
Go on, who's going to be up front? Then, Trevor? Who's your first striker, man?
Oh, it was loads. I mean, I played with some good strikers at West Ham. I mentioned Lee Chapman when I had my best season, so I should say him, but I'm not going to. Sorry, Lee. Frank, of course, was a brilliant guy, but he wasn't at his best. He had a bit of a bad injury. I know he's a fantastic player. I watched him play. Leroy Senior had an injury as well. Tony Cottee, very good player. I like playing with him, although he's a bit lazy. Clive Allen, me and Clive played together, and we had a good partnership. I like Clive. Again, I'd probably do a bit extra work, but outscored him. Thank you, Clive. Sorry for that, mate. Still outscored him. Who else we got? Let me see. Ian Dowie.
Yeah.
Me and Dowie. We argued in Norway that who's the best player then. Jonesy.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, Jonesy, I watched him play at Charlton after when he went, and he was an amazingly good player. I remember him coming on loan, not on loan, coming on a trial from, where did he come from? Somewhere out by Southend, a little non-league club.
Boy, so yeah, probably around there.
I was like, really? You caravan that? But he was a good player, wasn't he? He was very raw when he came. I love Jonesy, great character, a good pace, and I remember watching Charlton. Billericay,
yeah.
But I'm going to go for, and it's always disappointed me we didn't have a bit longer together. And I think he was the best finisher I played with, Jimmy Quinn. We started that first season together. I'm not sure why his West Ham career was so short. I loved playing with him. I think we complemented each other. None of us were super fast, but okay. We both held the ball up, good in the air. So I'm sad that I didn't get more time to play with him. In fact, I did play with him later in my career. When he was manager at Reading, he signed me. And we played together, but I think our combined age was about 80, so it wasn't that fresh. And he played in goal once. I scored a hat-trick against Bolton, and Quinny was in goal. So great character, and I think he was a great player. So I'm going to play myself up front with Quinny, because I think we would have if we'd had more time together, it made a real super partnership for West Ham.
Oh yeah, definitely. Was you still at the Swallow? Was Jimmy at the Swallow when you was at the Swallow? Or
Yeah.
was it? Yeah, because we've had Jimmy on, and he said when he was at the Swallow, obviously, Tottenham has just signed Gaza, and so Gaza was at the Swallow. Him and Jimmy five bellies, and I think he said every time on a training session, he'd never go through the front door. He'd always have to go for the tradesman's entrance around the kitchen because obviously at the Swallow, the bar is right at the front door, isn't it? So literally, he'd be there. But Jimmy, come for a drink, and he just wouldn't get away with him. That's brilliant, man. It's funny. I love these stories. It's so cool.
Yeah,
man.
I've got a few Gaza stories, but that's for another time. But he was in there, yeah. So
man,
it's best to avoid him, really. Otherwise, you get in trouble.
Trevor, man, it's been brilliant. Thank you so much for your time, man. I said 45 minutes, 5 minutes over, but I do apologise. Anyway, thank you. It's been absolutely brilliant. Obviously, thank you to everyone for watching as well. Please, like, share, whatever. And from me and from Trevor, take care, everyone. Stay safe. Wash those hands. Come in your irons, and we'll see you again very, very soon. Take care, everyone. Much love. Bye-bye.